What's going on, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, back here with another weekly prediction. It's time to do our Week 12 predictions for this week. Last week I went 9-5, which I did really good, and my overall record is 108-58, which that's pretty solid. So we're having a really good week so far. So I'm gonna get to it. So before I give you my predictions for Week 12, don't forget to put a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel, more option, and comment down your opinion below to see who you got winning Week 12. So let's get started here. But anyway, we got 6 teams on a bye week, which we got the Bengals, Bills, Falcons, Jags, Jets, and Saints, which we only have a lot of teams on a bye week. So we got to try our best to do really, really good this week because we got a lot of teams on a bye this week. So anyway, though, I predict the Steelers to win 23-16, and they basically lost 24-19 in close fashion. So let's get started here with the rest of the games. So we got the Minnesota Vikings playing against Chicago Bears. The Vikings are favored by 3.5. Obviously, this game right here can totally go either way. Now, I can see a potential upset for the Bears because the Bears thought really showed a lot of fight against the Packers. I thought their defense really, really found a way to contain Jordan Love. They really stopped the run. Offensively, they came up with a good drive. All of a sudden, they converted on fourth down after not converting on third down when the Bears went through for it. So, yeah, I feel like if the Bears can do the same thing, I think there's a chance they can win this game against the Vikings. But it all came down to last week with the special teams with a blocked field goal. So, yeah. Basically, the Vikings, their defense has been one of the best in the league. I like how the way Flores is scheming these players up. I like how the way his defense playing. Like his scheme is starting to work. Like I feel like this is a rookie quarterback against a Vikings defense is one of the best in the league, which I think Brian Flores is really good at defending young quarterbacks and putting pressure on them in terms of the blitz. I think he's gonna do a good job, defending Caleb Williams, who's gonna panic over pressure, and he's been a little bit overrated this season. So don't get me wrong. I know people are going to hate me when I say this, but Caleb Williams is just a little bit overrated because he has not been playing as good as he's supposed to be because last couple games he has struggled until week 5. Until last week he played okay but didn't do enough to win. So yeah, I think the game right here will be close and competitive though. But I'm going to say this game is probably going to be a low scoring game a little bit. But I'm going to take the Vikings to win, but I'll take the 3.5 with the Bears. I know the game's in Chicago, and Sam Darnold outdoors is tough, and we know he kind of struggles outdoors, but the Vikings are probably going to win this game because they're the more complete team. They got better coaching, and they got the more experienced quarterback. I mean, Sam Darnold has been a better quarterback than Caleb Williams this year. So, yeah. So, I mean, Sam Darnold can totally be in the MVP conversation. Don't get me wrong. It could happen. But he's been playing really well. In some games, he totally struggled with. He kind of really struggled. But I think it's going to be a defensive game like it was. I'm going to say Vikings win 20-16, something like that. Maybe they win by a field goal. Maybe they win by one score. Maybe they win by 3 points. Something like that. So, yeah. I take the Vikings to win. I'll take the Bears to cover. But would I be shocked if Chicago pull off the upset? No, but I have a feeling that the Vikings will pull it off. Next game, we have the Detroit Lions versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Lions are favored by 7.5, which that's a big number right there. Obviously, the game right here should be fun to watch. Now, the Lions are totally coming off a big win against the Jags, and the Colts are coming off a very good win against the Jets. Now, as you can tell, I got the Detroit Lions winning this game. The Lions are the better team, better quarterback. They got better coaching. The Lions pretty much have a better defense and a much more passing offense. They got a quarterback who's accurate at throwing the ball. Anthony Richardson, I don't think he's that good. like Anthony Richardson, he did came off of his best game as a passer though. I don't think the Colts are going to be able to run the ball effectively really well, especially against the Lions defense. It's totally been really good against the run, but I understand they're missing two players. Now I believe that Alex, their linebacker, their leader, is out for a while. So even with the injury the Lions defense had, the Lions defense still played really solid. Their secondary is playing really well. I like how the way they stop the pass better. The offense is playing really good. I thought Jared Goff played his best game out of his career, and especially they ran the ball really well. I like how the way they did it. The Colts on defense, they're very good, but I don't think they're great. But what I think what the Lions can do, they can run on the Colts, they can throw on them, because I don't think the Colts really have the cover guys to match up with the Lions' weapons they have. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams. That's a tough matchup, and I don't see how the Lions cover these guys. So I feel like those guys can have a big game, especially Sam Laporta can have a big game because he missed last week's game due to injury. So I highly doubt he plays. So yeah, so I think the Lions just gonna be too much for the Colts defense to handle. Jared Goff's gonna have a huge day. He might have another 400-yard game like he did last week, especially against a defense that's totally not. Oh yeah, totally against a defense that's not as good as the Lions, but I can totally see an area where the Lions just blows them out if Anthony Richardson's not playing really well. Because Anthony Richardson, he's coming off his best game as a passer, especially against a high school defense in the Jets, where the Jets defense stinks now. So, yeah, I think the Lions win. I'll take the Lions to cover as well. I think they win by one score. Maybe they win like 31-23, something like that. I don't really know. I'm probably going to say the Lions are going to crush them because I don't think the Colts will do much on offense to like keep up with the Lions, especially the Lions have one of the best offenses in the league, the best high-powered offense in the league. So, yeah. I think they're going to score like 30-plus points. So, yeah, I like the Lions win. I like the Lions cover. Next game, we have the New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 7.5. Obviously, Patriots are totally coming off a win. I mean, they're coming off a loss against the Rams, but they should have won. And they're coming off of Dolphins are coming off a win against the Raiders. Obviously, I got the Dolphins winning this game because they're at home. My Patriots always struggle in Miami. I mean, Dolphins are at home. They got the better quarterback. They got better coaching, and they're the more complete team overall. And they have more to play for because they have a better chance to make the playoffs, and the Patriots don't. Because the Patriots are totally looking like they're one of the worst teams in the league, especially with Drake May at quarterback. The Dolphins got more weapons on offense than the Patriots because Patriots don't have a lot of weapons on offense that scare you. And the Dolphins have really a great defense, too. The Pats have a really great defense. I mean, Dolphins' defense has totally been playing lights out. Like, I like how the way they're pressuring the quarterback. They're stopping the run. They're stopping the pass better. Like, I like how the way this defense has been playing. And especially their offense they've been running the ball really well. I think they'll run the ball better than the Patriots because the Patriots, they can't run the ball all year because they got a pathetic offensive line. So, yeah. But I think the game could be closer, though. But I just don't see it, especially with the Patriots offense not able to put up a lot of points. Especially their offense has been struggling all year. I think the Dolphins could easily blow them out because I don't think the Patriots defense, it's okay, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it's as good as the Dolphins, though, because I think they're ranked. I think they're kind of like a below average defense, in my opinion. That's what I say. But unless if the Patriots can do something on offense to stay in the game, I think they keep it close and I think they'll cover because they should have beat the Rams last year where they could have won by a touchdown, but they just didn't. But I think the Dolphins win because they're they're at home. They're trying to fight for a playoff push. So yeah. So I'm probably gonna take the Dolphins both ways. I don't know if I'm confident in this, but I'm gonna take them both ways because I think they're just the more desperate team. So yeah, maybe they win by double digits or something like that. Maybe they win like 23-13, something like that. Maybe like 30-13, something like that. Maybe they win by double digits. So, or maybe they win by more than that. I know 7.5 is a lot of points, but I'm taking them both ways. I'm taking Miami to win. I'm taking Miami to cover. So yeah. And also, Jalen Wall could be due for a bounce back because he hasn't been looking great. And Tyreek Hill's been one of the best receivers. He's going to be too much. But Jonnu Smith's been a great tight end as well. So I like how the way they're getting him involved. So yeah, but I still have Miami winning and covering. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New York Giants. The Bucs are favored by 6.5. Obviously, this game right here can totally go either way. Obviously, this game right here, both these two teams are coming off a bye. We are, as y'all heard the news, that the Giants have released Daniel Jones. So, because they have released Daniel Jones, which is kind of sad to hear. Now they're gonna start to Tommy DeVito instead. The Giants, they have not been looking so good lately. I mean, their offense has totally struggled to get something going. Their defense is totally not looking as good. Like the Giants' offense has been. I mean, their defense has totally been good and keeping them in games, but it hasn't been great all year. The Bucs are totally coming off a bye, and they have lost 3 straight games. Which that kind of hurts. They're sitting at 4-6 right now. Still have a chance to make the playoffs, but I think this game right here could be closer than we expected. But I think the Bucs win because the Bucs are just a more complete team. They have the better quarterback, and Baker Mayfield is one of the best quarterbacks, and he's more like a top. He's playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. They have the better coaching. They have better coaching as well, and they're a more complete team. And I feel like when Mike Evans coming back could help their passing game, because Cade Otton's been a really good tight end. He stepped up since the Bucs wideout's been out. But I feel like Mike Evans coming back is huge. We know Chris Godwin won't come back because of his injury. I think they'll be able to run the ball a little bit on the Giants. The Giants' defense has totally not been good. I think they can throw on the Giants because their pass defense is bad. And the Bucs pretty much have a better defense, though. And I think Todd Bowles, with his scheme, I think his defensive scheme, against a bad Giants offense can put pressure on the quarterback and in terms to find a way in the blitz, the veto and all that. And they pretty much have the Bucs secondary is pretty strong, which they do have the corners to cover against Malik Neighbors and all that, which the Bucs pretty much match up well with the Giants really well. So yeah. But I know this game's in New York, but the Bucs are just a more complete team and have the better quarterback and better coaching and a more complete team. So yeah. I think the Bucs win by a lot because I don't see how the Giants gonna be able to do much on offense to keep up with the Bucs. Like, yeah, so I think the Bucs, I think they can win like 27-20 or like I don't really know if the Bucs Giants gonna do enough to score 20 points. I think the Bucs win by a lot. So yeah, I'm probably gonna say Bucs win 34-13, 34-20, something like that. Somewhere in about that range. So yeah, I take the Bucs to win. I take the Bucs to cover. All right, next game we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders favored by 10.5. Now I know that's a big spread. Now Washington is totally coming off 2 straight losses, and Dallas has been on a losing streak so far because they haven't won since week 5. So yeah. So as I look at it though, Dallas is looking to bring back some of their players. Now Dallas, I thought their defense kind of is starting to play a little bit better now when Micah Parsons back, which it kind of really helped a little bit. And and Cooper Rush, I thought didn't play horrible against the Texans defense, which they didn't really do. But it didn't really matter because they couldn't really do enough to keep up with them. They couldn't score a lot of points. But their Cowboys' offense has been struggling all year, and we know their defense has totally been pathetic. But Micah Parsons back kind of helps. Now they could be getting DaRon Bland back that can really help their secondary, which that'll be good news. But I heard he's gonna be playing this week because he missed a lot of time due to injuries. Now they could be getting DeMarcus Lawrence back, but I don't really know if they're gonna be able to because he's been out for a while. So maybe they get him back this week, maybe they don't, because they have to play a short week on Thanksgiving after this game. So maybe they get him back then. I don't know. On the other side, Washington, they're kind of a little bit overrated. I think Jaden Daniels a little bit overrated, because he hasn't been like playing as good. I mean, I thought he didn't play good against the Steelers or the Eagles. Like that's what we could say. And I think their offense, their defense have totally, it's been good recently. I like how the way they stopped the run. Then now they've been weak against the run and yards per attempt, but their defense is playing really good right now. They're getting pressure. They're starting to stop the pass better. Like I like how the way this defense has been playing. So yeah, but I think this game right here is going to be very very close, and I think it's going to be very very interesting. Though I can see the game being close, but I don't really know if it can be close enough because out of the way Dallas is playing. But I do lead towards Washington to win. But I'm not sure if I'm comfortable taking the 10.5 points with them because how bad they've been playing. But I don't know. 10.5 is a big number. I really want Dallas to cover, but Dallas has totally been bad against the spread lately. But I don't know who to choose from. But at the same time, I think Dallas can win, but there's a chance, but I wouldn't be shocked. But Washington just has too much explosive on offense, and I think they can run the ball better than the Cowboys. But I feel like the Cowboys, I don't think they can run the ball really well. But I think if they can get the run game going, that can probably have Cooper Rush to like simplify the offense. That can give their offense time enough that can get them all at third and long, second and long, something like that. But I think Dallas has not been converting much on third down, while Washington has. So yeah, I'm just gonna take Commanders both ways. I'm gonna take them to win and cover. There's no way I'm gonna take Dallas to cover. So yeah, I think Washington can win by a lot, but maybe they win by one score. Who knows? Or maybe by double digits. All right, next game we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs are favored by 10.5. We're gonna keep it simple here. I got the Chiefs winning. I got the Chiefs covering. And the reason for that is the Chiefs are the better team, better quarterback, better coaching. The Panthers still one of the worst teams in the league. We don't understand they're coming off 2 straight wins before the bye. They're coming off a bye and all that. Maybe they keep it close, but I just don't really see it. Especially Bryce Young has been very terrible. Especially he's too small. He can't really convert on third down. He can't maneuver a pass rush. He can't read a defense. And he's playing against one of the best defense in football in the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs defense, I think the Chiefs bounce back after coming off a loss. And I think their defense finds a way to at least like overwhelm Bryce Young and the Panthers offense. And I think they pretty much offensively, I think they can run the ball on them a little bit. Maybe getting Pacheco back could help, but I don't think he's playing this week. Maybe he plays maybe after, week 12 because they have a short week coming up on Friday. But I think the Chiefs can move the ball on the Panthers. I think they can throw the ball on the Panthers because the Panthers' run defense is bad and their pass defense is bad. So I think that'll have save Mahomes a lot of time. And the Panthers, maybe they get Brooks back, can help them run the ball a little bit. Maybe their defense, their offensive line, healthy could help, but I just don't see it. But I think the Chiefs defense is gonna find a way, with their secondary can match up well with the Panthers receiving core because the Panthers receiving core is pretty much all underwhelming a little bit. Maybe Thielen back can help. So yeah, I think Spags gonna have a really good game plan for the Panthers. So yeah. So by the way, the Chiefs got to at least score like 30 points in this game. I know they haven't scored 30 points all year, but I think this is the time that they can do. Like it's the time they will because they have to score 30 plus points in this game. Their offense can't play as bad like that. So yeah, I think the Chiefs can win. I see the Chiefs winning at least like 37 or like 38 points. Maybe they win like 34-16, 34-9 or something like that. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to win and the Chiefs to cover that big spread. Next game, we have Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. Houston Texans is favored by 8. Obviously, I'm going to keep this another one short because I have the Texans winning and covering because the Texans are the better team, better quarterback, better coaching. The Texans are at home, and the Texans are pretty much, the Titans, are just not as good team. I mean, their offense can't run the ball. They're struggling right now. Their defense is struggling. Like they're just brutal. I mean, they're not as good as you think. Maybe Will Levis, if he plays really well, maybe they keep this game pretty much interesting though. But I just don't see it though. Texans are pretty much explosive on offense. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball, and the Titans defense has been up and down all year. So maybe the Texans pretty much have a better defense this year, which I think they'll do enough to get pressure on Will Levis, force him into some mistakes where Titans can't run the ball, force them into some third and longs, fourth and some second and longs. So yeah, where that can give the Texans an opportunity though. And I think D'Amico Ryans will have a good game plan against the Titans offense that has been struggling all year. And we know they can't pick up blitzes on early downs, like they can't do it. So yeah. The Texans to me, I mean, they're just a way better team overall. Like, I would not be shocked if they kept this game close. So, yeah, so basically, the Texans, the only way they can win this game is that if they don't take too many penalties because, they've been taking so many penalties all year where it kind of hindered their drives and it kind of hindered their game on defense. So, yeah, so I think the Texans win easily. I think they cover easily. So, yeah. Next game, we have the Denver Broncos versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Denver Broncos is favored by -6. Obviously, this game right here can go either way, but obviously, I got the Broncos winning this game because the Broncos are just a better team overall. they got the more experienced quarterback in Bo Nix, which he's playing a lot better than Gardner Minshew now. They have a better defense, and they're playing a lot better defense than they're supposed to be. And Vance Joseph's doing a really good job of the defense so far. Offensively, they're really moving the ball really well. I like how the way they are. They're passing the ball. They're running the ball really well. Defensively, they're looking really good. Like the Raiders so far, their defense now stinks because now they're playing a high school level defense, and offensively they're at their high school as well because their offense is now pathetic. Now they can't keep up with teams. They can't find a way to like they'll find a way to win close games and all that, but I don't think they can do it. So yeah, and the Raiders to me look like a pathetic team, and the Broncos are just a way better team. So I'm probably gonna take them to win and cover as well. Maybe the Raiders defense keeps it close in this game. So yeah, maybe the Broncos defense keeps them in. Maybe the Raiders defense keeps them in the game. Maybe they do because last time when these two teams play, the Raiders got blown. They couldn't. The game wasn't close because the Raiders were very pathetic on both sides of the ball. Maybe their defense does keep them in this game. So yeah, so the Raiders, their defense is great, but it's okay, but not great. Sometimes their defense is soft, sometimes it's not. I think the Raiders can find a way to keep this interesting though. So I'm probably gonna say the Broncos win, but I think it's gonna be a little bit of a low scoring game, a little bit. I'm gonna say Broncos win 23, Raiders 17. I think Denver wins by one score, but I think the Raiders will cover. I think they'll do enough on defense. I think their defense will keep them in the game this time. So yeah, I take the Broncos to win, but I take the Raiders to cover. Next game we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are favored by 6. Obviously, this game right here can totally go either way, but as you all know, that that the sad news is that Brock Purdy will not be playing this week. Neither Nick Bosa. Maybe they get Trent Williams back. I don't know because neither of them haven't been practicing all week. But Brock Purdy was limited for 2 days and then left early. Then he didn't practice yesterday. So the Niners are going to be without out 2 or 3 starters, which it kind of hurts the team a lot. I mean, the Niners have totally been struggling all year because they've been having blown leads where they're up by double digits. They just let the teams come back on them. But the Niners offense has totally been struggling though, which I thought the Niners, they should have at least just blew the Seahawks out though. They should have blew them out because basically, they kept starting the game a little sloppy a little bit until, if they didn't start the game off sloppy, they would have at least won. They would have at least won the game. They should have at least won at least by one score or maybe by double digits, something like that. They could have beaten them that way, but it didn't happen. Um, the Niners defense is one of the best in the league, and they're facing against Jordan Love, who basically has been having turnover issues. So yeah, I mean the Packers, offensively, they really have a great passing offense because they're moving the ball really well. They pretty much have a really good defense as well. Their defense is totally. I mean, their defense is playing really well. I mean, I like how the way the Packers defense is playing. But offensively, they kind of started game sloppy. They should have at least lost to the Bears because their defense nearly blew the game, and their offense couldn't really do much enough to score. So yeah, so I think it can go either way. But I was gonna pick the Niners to win, but since the Niners are missing 3 starters, I'm going to take the Packers because they're at home. They're more healthier on offense a little bit. But the Packers are missing one star on defense who's not going to be playing, which is Jai Alexander. Maybe with him out, it can help the Niners throw the ball better. I feel like they need to get Debo going a little bit. They need to get the run game going a little bit more. George Kittle coming back is huge. So, and the Niners' weapons on offense are stepping up, like Jawan James and Ricky Pearsall. They're starting to step up a little bit. Um, the Niners so far, you know, with Nick Bosa out, it's probably going to help the Packers. They can move the ball, have Jordan Love can have extra time, and I think they can run the ball a little bit, and they can throw the ball a little bit. So, yeah, if this was Brock Purdy playing, I think this changed. But if it's Brock, because since it's Brock Purdy not playing, this is just no-go. I mean, it's just Brandon Allen starting. I just don't see how the Niners move the ball. I just don't see how the Niners offensively move the ball successfully. I just don't see how the Niners move the ball really well on the Packers. I just don't see them move the ball really well. I feel like the Packers should be able to load the box, stop the run, force them into some third and long, second and long, something like that. So yeah. So especially the Packers are totally playing against a defense that totally got ripped up a little bit by Seattle, where Geno Smith really ran for a touchdown the last drive, which I think the Seahawks would have at least won by more, but they did because they started a little sloppy, and the Niners were a little bit sloppy as well. So the Niners' playoff chance could be ruined due to injuries, but maybe I'm wrong, but I just have a feeling Green Bay is going to win. So yeah, I don't know. I'll take the Niners to cover, but I'll take the Packers to win the game because I think the Packers find a way to at least like win in the end. I think the Packers win by 3 points. I think they can win by a field goal, maybe like 23-20, 27-24, something like that. I think it's going to be a little bit of a low scoring game. I think the Niners defense will keep them in the game. Because, the Niners, some of these games are find a way to win close ones. And sometimes, Niners are truly blowing them out. Maybe if the Niners start off, maybe if, like, the Packers get up early, they can blow the Niners out. Maybe if the Niners get up early, they can blow the Packers out. So I think it can go either way, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Niners won with their backup. So, yeah, so I think Green Bay will win. I'll take San Fran to cover. And especially the games in Lambeau Field as well. Next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are favored by -1. Obviously, I got the Seahawks winning, and I got the Cards covering. Because Seahawks are at home. They're coming off a win against the Niners. I thought their offense kind of really played really well at the end of the game because they were able to pick up an offensive drive. So and their defense played really well. But at the end, and the other side, the Cardinals are coming off a bye. They have time. They had a week to rest, and I like how the way their defense played for like a couple straight weeks. Their defense has been playing lights out, and offensively, they're moving the ball really well. So yeah, I think they keep this game interesting though. But at the same time, I think they'll split with each other. Because usually the Seahawks usually sweep them because Seattle pretty much owns the Cardinals and they own this rivalry. And we know the Cardinals are leading their division right now. I'm going to lean towards the home team, the Seahawks, to win the game because I think the Seahawks are just a more complete team. I think they're to have the better quarterback. And I think Mike McDonald can do a good job, like having a good game plan against Kyler Murray and all that. He'll find a way to at least like confuse him and all that. And I feel like getting DK Metcalf back helps their passing game. I think DK Metcalf is set for another good game. Because I think the Seahawks, I think they'll find a way to move the ball on the Cardinals. I think they'll find a way to control the clock to keep Kyler on the sidelines, which I think can help them win the game. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Jackson and Jigba is going to be too much for them. And I think they need to get the run game going with Kenneth Walker. He'll have a good game. And I think their defense will find a way to get after Kyler. And they pretty much have the corners in the secondary to match up with Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. And they have the pass rush to get after him as well. So, yeah, I think I'll take the Seahawks to win. I'll take the Cardinals with the points. I think one can help, but I really want to take the Cardinals to win. But I think Arizona's going to be due for a loss because they were fortunate against, they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. They were fortunate to do it, but I feel like they're just due for a loss because, Seattle just needs to at least win because I feel like they need a win. So, yeah, I think the Seahawks win. I think the Cardinals cover. I think the Seahawks can win by one score. Maybe they win like 30-24 or something like that. So, yeah, maybe it could be higher scoring. Who knows? All right, next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles against the Los Angeles Rams. The Eagles are favored by -3. Obviously, the game can go either way. Now, most people are picking the Rams to win because they're at home and, LA is a tough place to play at where Philly has to go across the country to play against a West Coast team because, East Coast teams don't travel very well. But obviously, I'm going to take the Eagles to win and to cover. I'll take the Eagles to win because I think the Eagles are just a more complete team and have the better coaching. I mean, I just kind of really feel like the Eagles, pretty much own the Rams. They pretty much have a better defense than the Rams. I mean, their defense is playing really well, and I think they can run the ball really well. Devonta Smith out, that kind of sucks. I feel like maybe they can get A.J. Brown going to get Dallas Goedert going. Their offensive line is really one of the best in the league. I think the Rams defense could be a little bit overrated, but it's been playing really good lately. I think the Eagles can run the ball a little bit on the Rams. The Eagles pretty much have the pass rush to get after Matthew Stafford. They have the secondary in the corners to cover against Puka and Cooper Kupp. That's going to dare the Rams to run the ball, and that can force them into some mistakes. Matthew Stafford's been really good lately as a passer, and he's been good against the Eagles in his career, we know of. But I feel like that the Eagles, can find a way to at least, get an offensive drive going where I think they can, control the game at the end, keeping Stafford off the sidelines and all that, which can really force the Eagles in position to win the game. Or maybe their defense gets a stop at the end or something like that. But I think the Eagles, they're looking like the best team in the NFC right now. I like how the way they're playing right now as a team. So, yeah, I mean, Philly would be undefeated now, which they would have been. But, Jalen Hurts' explosiveness against the Rams defense is a tough matchup because the Rams defense sometimes struggle against mobile quarterbacks, and Jalen Hurts can use his legs. And we know Saquon can have a good game as well. So, yeah, I think the Eagles win. I'll take the Rams with the points to keep it close. But I think the only way the Rams can win this game is, if Jalen Hurts starts the game off a little bit slow and he's not reading the coverage well and, he can't really see well and he's not picking up a blitz on early downs. Like, I can see that happening, but I feel like the Rams, are going to be due for a loss because they were just fortunate to win against the Patriots. So, yeah. So, I'm just think the Eagles. I feel like A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert is going to be too much for the Rams defense to handle. Saquon Barkley is going to be too much for the Rams defense to handle. Especially Jalen Hurts is too much for the Rams defense as well. So, I feel like the Eagles offense is just going to overpower them a little bit. But I think they'll keep it close, though. So I'll take the Eagles to win. I'll take the Rams to cover. I think the Eagles win higher scoring, like 31-27, something like that. So, yeah. So I'll take the Eagles to win. I'll take the Rams to cover. And last game week, Monday Night Football, we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Baltimore Ravens are favored by -3. Obviously, this game right here can go either way. We know the game's in LA, which is kind of tough to play at. The Chargers are coming off a big win against the Bengals, and the Ravens are totally coming off a disappointing loss against the Steelers. Obviously, the game right here can totally go either way, but at the same time, both these two teams are really good. Um, they're both contenders. Now we got the Harbaugh brothers facing against each other, which that's fun to watch. Now, most people are picking the Chargers to win because the Chargers are at home, and we got the Harbaugh brothers face against each other. At the end of the day, the Chargers defense has been one of the best in football, and their offense has totally been moving the ball really well. I mean, Herbert's playing really well. They're starting to get the run game going. Like, they're starting to get guys involved. Lad McConkey is starting to look. He's starting to look like Justin Herbert's next go-to guy. Quentin Johnson's looking very good. Will Disley, like they got so many young weapons on offense who's starting to play at their best. So yeah, I thought the Chargers defense got a little bit exposed last week, but they could have at least lost. But it all came down to the Bengals kicker missing a field goal like twice. So yeah. So at the end of the day, the Ravens, they're 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 kind of red hot despite them losing to the Steelers. So obviously, I think this game will be very close and competitive, though. Obviously, I'm gonna go with the Ravens to win because I think the Ravens are the more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coach. The Colts are very familiar with each other. They got more weapons on offense than the Chargers. Like, I just don't really think the Chargers don't really have the skilled players on offense, to keep up with the Ravens. And the Ravens are very more explosive on offense. I think the Ravens can run the ball better. I think they can throw the ball better. I don't really see how the Chargers are going to be able to run the ball as much. I don't think they will. The Ravens defense, their pass defense has totally been bad, but I think they'll stop the pass better. I think they'll stop the run better. So yeah, like there's a chance the Chargers can pull off an upset, but I just don't see it happening though. But yeah, the game last year was in LA and the Ravens did win by double digits, but I think I see it as a low scoring game. I mean, the Chargers have not given up like 30 plus points like for like the last like couple of games. So yeah, they haven't done that for the last couple of games. So yeah. So basically, I'll take the Ravens, I'll take the Ravens to win, but I'm gonna say the Ravens win like 23-16, something like that. Maybe 26-23. Maybe they win by a field goal, maybe they win by one score. So yeah. So basically, I will take the Chargers to cover, but I'll take the Ravens to win the game. Because I think they're due for a bounce back, and the Chargers are due for a loss because they were just fortunate to beat the Bengals after when the Bengals missed two field goals when the Chargers ran for a touchdown and a good offensive drive. So yeah, I think the Ravens. I think the Chargers will do it. I think the Chargers defense will keep them in the game. So I'll take the Chargers to cover. I'll take the Ravens to win the game. Those are all my Week 12 picks for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. So, yeah. So this is Emmanuel Jones for a big fan. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the videos and subscribe to my channel to like see all my weekly predictions and more videos. So, yeah. Well, this is the man John, a big fan again. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.